Hello, my name is Aries, and welcome back. Everyone's talking about solar, and maybe you've started to wonder what it's all about and if it's worth it for you. Now, there are many reasons to get solar. Perhaps you want to live off the grid, never having to worry about a utility bill again. Or have the peace of mind knowing that if the grid goes down, you'll have power no matter how long it's out. Or maybe you want to save money by investing in solar, or reduce your carbon footprint with green energy. So today we'll be going over a few different system designs for different goals and their respective pros and cons. Firstly, saving money by installing solar. When you put solar onto your home or business, you reduce your electric bill or wipe it out entirely. These savings will eventually outweigh the cost of the system, giving you more money than you would otherwise have had without solar. If this is your only goal in solar, then you're going to want a system that's designed with just enough panels to zero out your bill, a net metering agreement, and no battery, as that will add cost to the system, therefore making it take longer to pay itself off. So, is this viable for you? Typically, a residential system in Kentucky will cost in the ballpark of $20,000 to $30,000 and pay for itself in about 12 years. So, if you can't afford the upfront investment on a 12-year return, then you might want to consider carefully before investing in solar. However, a good loan option does make this a bit more viable. Well, what about living off-grid? If you're anything like me, the idea of having no reliance on the electric company sounds fantastic. But if you're not relying on the electric company, that means you're relying entirely on your system. And the last thing you want is to experience blackouts because your production or your storage isn't keeping up with your usage. That means you need a large system that can keep up with your peak production, which is typically going to be in the winter months, leaving you with a system that for the rest of the year is larger than you need it to be. So if you're living the modern lifestyle off-grid, you're going to have a system that's inefficient and very expensive, which is not something we recommend for most people. On the other hand, if you were to live a minimalistic lifestyle off-grid, just running the essentials, or something like a weekend hunting cabin, then yes, solar can be a great option. Another reason you may want solar is the peace of mind knowing that if the grid goes down, you'll have power. Now, for short-term outages, we typically recommend a gas-powered generator rather than buying solar. However, if you wanted to be prepared for more severe circumstances, you would need a system that only has enough panels and batteries to run your essentials long-term. Now, these systems do tend to be a bit more expensive because of the need for battery, and therefore take a bit longer to pay themselves off. So, is it worth it for you comes down to how likely it is that you think you'll need to be prepared. Hopefully you never would, but if you did, it's good to have. And finally, let's talk about green energy. While the power produced from a solar panel is green, the manufacturing of the panels and the components still leave a carbon footprint. This is especially the case when shipped from overseas. A solar panel will eventually offset its environmental impact over its lifetime, but this can take quite a while. So they're not quite as green as we would all like. Thankfully, there are companies out there, such as Crossroads Solar, Mission Solar, and Silfab, who are right here in North America and source as many of their components locally as they can to reduce the impact of solar manufacturing and shipping. There are, however, a few components that can still only be sourced overseas. So take that into account when considering solar as a green energy option. As always, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us or leave a comment. Thank you all for watching. Until next time.